all, this is Morgan from Madeira, USA here. Today we're talking to Nancy Minnie, our lovely embroidery expert here at headquarters, about Hugo's amazing tape and hope to find out what makes it so amazing. We love the idea of staying connected with you, so jump in, give us a thumbs up, let us know if you're watching live, and we will answer any questions that you have that you may type in here, and we would greatly appreciate your interaction. With all that being said, I'm going to hand it off to Nancy. Why don't you take it away?
Thank you, Morgan, and thank you all for joining us. So we are talking about Hugo's amazing tape, and there's a really interesting story behind it. I don't want to get into too much detail on it, but I encourage you to research a little bit. Hugo's was a real person. He developed it. After he passed away, his two daughters took it over and actually brought it to Shark Tank, and that actually made it run out. Like they were having a hard time keeping up with it and keeping it in stock. So we had that issue as well. We have it back in stock now. And what I'm going to be showing you today is some embroidery industry marks that you can, or ideas that you can use it for, and also a few other non-embroidery things. So not only is it a great product, it will make your life a lot easier. And so here we go. Here's a few things. Probably my favorite thing to do with it is to wrap up backing on it, because when you have a bucket like this and you have all this extra backing, and if it's all just kind of stuffed in there, not only is it not staying together, you don't know what it is. So marking them and wrapping them with the Hugo's amazing tape is a great idea. So when you think about it, you can actually write on them. So over here, I have a white roll, and it's great. You can write on that with a black marker, and you can see exactly what it is at all times. This is kind of a heavy roll, so I put a little at the top and another roll at the bottom to keep it all together, but use that black marker in order to tell what it is. So when I'm going into my bundle of rolls here, I know what each one is. If you're working on black or your dark threads, you can actually use a silver Sharpie, is what we have here, and I wrote right on there what that product is. So again, I can tell. I like to mark whether it's a tearaway or a cutaway, because you need to know that when you're embroidering, and when you pick out your products, you want to know if it's a tearaway or cutaway. So I always do that. I always put, is it a lightweight, a medium weight, or a heavy weight, and then I put the ounces so that I can put it all together. So this little bundle here is nice and neat. I showed you one of the threads here. There's a couple dark ones here where I wrapped it around. Some of your older spools or different types of threads don't have a nice snap ring like these guys do. So you can wrap your thread right in there and it's going to hold it nice and tight. But then you actually have to look on this to see what the color is. So if you write it right on here, it not only keeps the thread from falling down if it's maybe being traveling or you're just taking it somewhere. It's just a great way to mark them up. And there you have the silver. I made it nice and thick so you can all see that. So when it comes to the embroidery industry, wrapping your threads, wrapping your backings is an obvious great way. Not only can you do your rolls, but if you have pre-cuts and you want to keep them up on a shelf and you want to make sure they're not going anywhere, you can do the same thing. This is the product here again. So I opened up this one. This is the Hugo's amazing tape, and there's going to be a little end here. I can feel it. And it's what it is it's a non-adhesive, so there's no stickiness there. When you feel it, it's kind of not gooey, but it's a little sticky. But there's no adhesive on there. So the nice thing is it actually adheres to itself. You can feel that. It's super strong, so I can pull this and pull this and pull this. It's pretty strong. I can't break it, but I can stretch it. So it's very strong and durable. You can reuse it over and over again. So not only can I put this on this thread here, I'm going to use a yellow because it's nice and bright. I can take it off. I can put that aside as I use it on my machine. When I want to put it back on, it's going to be great to go again. The idea is you're going to pull it a little bit, so you're putting a little bit of tension on it. As you wrap it around, you want it to be kind of flat. Whoopsie. So this one actually does have a string hanging. And I'll try that again. Give it a little tension, and as it goes nice and flat, you're just going to push a little pressure on there, and that holds it. It's not going to come off. Some other ideas that you can use I have here is a bunch of pens that I wrapped up. Maybe I want to keep those together, not let them get away from each other. If you have odd shaped things like this, you can bundle them all together. Maybe you're going to pack them up because you're going somewhere. So that's a great idea for that. I did the MSA 1000 spray here. If I was going to say take this and I want to pack it and I want to bring it with me, maybe I want to make sure this cover doesn't come off and it doesn't spray by mistake. So I took a little bit of adhesive and put it on here, and now I'm having a little bit of trouble finding the end, but usually you can just kind of feel it and it's there. I know it's there. I found this side. So that means the other one is over here somewhere. It's right on the corner. So a little trick for that I've done in the past. So, I mean, this is fine sitting on your shelf, but maybe you're going to put it in a box and you're going to bring it somewhere because you're going to go over to your friend's house and do some embroidery or whatnot. If I were to put this on the top, like so, and I do this with regular tape too, Scotch tape. I'll take and I'll fold the end, and it just makes it a little bit fatter so that when it's on, it's still holding because I put a little pressure on it, but now it makes it a little easier to find that in. If you have cosmetics, if you have nail polish, and you're traveling, it's a great way to make sure, you know, I'm going to tighten up that cap. I'm going to put it on. Put a little bit of pressure. That one actually folded a little. That's okay. And then it's on there. Now I feel confident. I can throw that in my pocketbook, my tote bag, anything else that I'm traveling with like this, that it's a liquid, and I feel confident that that's not going to come off. Another options are your cords, your wires. I had done the little foldy thing on this one. So that's going to hold that nice and tight. It's not going anywhere. You could do big items like the book. Yeah. Just put a bunch of those together. And kind of like the cord. I don't know about you, but whenever I hold up my ironing cord, it's always like falling out. So I took this one and I wrapped the cord, and I guess this is really great if you like to be super organized, and I do. So we do want to answer your questions today. I'm not sure if we're seeing any at this point. We are working our way through our technical parts of doing Facebook Live. This is our second one. So thank you if you are with us. And we are going to figure out how we can see the questions in the future. And in the meantime, we'll definitely get back to you right after this Facebook Live. We'll be wrapping this up really quickly here. Just wanted to show you one example. I have a really large roll of backing here. And I try to leave my tags on it so I know what the product is. But eventually that roll is going to get a little smaller and I'm not going to be able to see that. So on my Hugo's Amazing Tape here, I'm going to lay it out and I'm going to write what it is. And I know that that's a cutaway. So I want to write cutaway. Did you all know it's Left-Handers International Day today? So shout out to all your left-handers out there like me. So it's a cutaway. It's heavy. That's our heavy stuff. My handwriting is horrible when I'm under pressure, and it's a 3-ounce. So I like to put all that there so I know what I'm looking at, and I know when I need my 3-ounce, I want that to be there. A trick I do with this, nice big roll, I want to make sure what I wrote on stays on the top. Because if I wrap this around on top of it, the other piece is going to pick it up, especially when you've just written on it. Get that to go snug there. It's like hugging a big baby. And it is self-clinging, so it clings to itself. So I'll try that again.
It's not as bad as working with plastic wrap, though, that's for sure.
No, I mean, that if you can get a piece of that 1 foot without touching itself, it's almost impossible. So this is not quite as bad as that. And it comes apart. You can actually pull it apart. So I've got the non-writing here. The writing here. I want to go on the top of it, giving it a little bit of a tug so it stretches it. It's almost like there's little fingers that grabs itself. And
perfect.
There it is. Put a little pressure on it. It's going to stay there. It's not real tight, so I can put it up to the top. So if I wanted to throw it in my bundle, in my tote there, I can do that. And there's just so many other things that you can use this for, whether it is in the embroidery industry. If it's not in the industry, you know, things are, you know, you can use it for your hoses. You can use it for temporary repairs of, you know, a hose, maybe it's leaking a little bit. You can actually wrap this on there and keep it repaired temporarily while you get to where you need to be, or maybe it's a water hose and you need to get a new one. It might hold it until you can get that new one. Another good thing is it can actually go into a freezer. So I like to use an example of a bag of peas. So maybe you only want to use half of that bag of peas. And I would tend to like roll it up, either use a clip or I'd use staples to kind of close it. Then I get nervous when I have the staples on my back because I'm afraid they're going to fall out when I go to cook my peas, the second half of it. So instead of using anything like that, you can just cut a roll of this about 1.5 times like how wide it is. Wrap it around. It's going to stick well even in the freezer. If you have a casserole dish, which those covers don't really like to stay on, they're really not meant to stay on. But say you're going to travel, go to your mother's house or your friend's house with a casserole, and you've got this glass dish with a cover that's loose, you can wrap it around that as well, and that'll hold it on there until you get there, and hopefully it's all inside the casserole dish when you get there.
So inventive.
Yeah. So that wraps it up for Hugo's Amazing Tape. And we'll get back to you on any questions that may have come in today.
Perfect. Thank you, Nancy. Thanks so much for going over all of this with us. You have me convinced that Hugo's Amazing Tape is for everybody. This product is available to everybody right online at our website, MadeiraUSA.com, or give us a call at 800-225-3001. Add it to your next order. We have our discounted shipping this weekend, so tomorrow and the next couple days would be a great time to add this to your kind of list of things you need. But that wraps it up for us. If you think of any more questions, comment here. We'll make sure to find the answers for you. Thanks again for watching. We are Madeira USA, and we will see you next time.